Yo, what's going on guys, Arekkz here and welcome back to another Destiny video. Now just a really quick one today, but I want to speak about these Splicer Keys. Where do you get them and what are they for? In the most recent Game Informer article they uploaded a video of Archon's Forge, and during the beginning part of that video the Guardians were out in the open world doing some patrols, completing some missions, some bounties, and then alongside this Siva actuator, one of them also acquired a Splicer Key. Well, I say one of them, actually the whole team acquired it, as you can see in the bottom left hand corner. Now, truth be told, we don't know exactly where they come from. I think it's fair to assume that they come from just generally killing enemies in patrol. Because when the developers were speaking about Archon's Forge, they were speaking about how you will find these things known as Siva offerings or Siva samples, and you'll get those by killing enemies out in the open world, and they're of course what you take to Archon's Forge to allow you to begin the battles, or the arena matches, or whatever you want to refer to them as. Now, at the same time as doing this, as mentioned, they were on a patrol, they're of course out there killing enemies, and they acquire these items. Now, of course, you can see the character that they're playing as, the perspective you see, is not the one that actually acquires the Siva Key. Obviously, one of their teammates picked it up, and it was then given to the entire team. Alternatively, it could have been by completing a bounty, because of course that was happening at a similar sort of time. Either way, when it comes to obtaining Splicer Keys, it's obviously going to be tied to general patrol activities. But more importantly, the question is, what are they for? And I've actually got a couple of ideas on this. The first one is actually something I know to be 100% true. The second one is a theory based on the first. So let's start with the facts. When I was over at Gamescom and I was going hands-on and we were playing through the new HyperX Strike, I was playing with my name is Bife and Destiny Overwatch. And on our second playthrough of the Strike, we were wandering around exploring, and Martin, aka Destiny Overwatch, stumbled across this rather interesting terminal when going off the beaten track that says requires Splicer Key. And if you look to the right hand side, there is a doorway blocked by these orange lasers, and yes, if you walk into them, they will kill you. So it's quite obvious that if you want to get out of that door, you need a Splicer Key. Now, quite what's behind that door, I don't know. I know what the Splicer Key is for, I don't know what it leads to. However, that leads me to my second theory. Now, when watching the Archon's Forge video from the Game Informer article, they spoke about how if you die in Archon's Forge, as we know, you then have to sit outside the arena and either let people inside finish up, or alternatively die so you can then reset the whole event. Now, up until we saw the footage, we didn't actually know what outside meant. Is it actually a door? Is it completely outside, you know, where you can't see what's going on? However, now that we've seen this, it actually transpires that outside is actually up in this sort of viewing platform guarded by these very similar looking orange lasers. Now, of course, you can't go through there. You are restricted. You can stay up there. I think you can shoot through. You can, of course, look down and see what's going on, but you cannot actually get actively involved. However, one thing they did say during the video is that there will be certain conditions where you can spend items of currency to allow yourself back into the Forge. Now, do bear in mind, currency doesn't always just mean money. Currency doesn't necessarily mean glimmer. Currency can also be items that are used in that sort of vein. Things like motes of light, strange coins, legendary marks. All of those things are, technically speaking, currency. Now, it could well be that Splicer Keys are another form of currency. If that were the case, and we know that using a Splicer Key at a terminal like this one disables these lasers and allows you to pass through, it could well be that if you have Splicer Keys saved up during Archon's Forge, you can then use them to lower the barriers, allow yourself back in, which would then of course allow you to back up your team. Now, quite what the conditions would be to allow you to do this, I'm not too sure. It might well be that if it's, say, like a low tier activity, it's quite easy, then maybe they won't let you back in. But if you're doing one of the harder ones with the kind of rarer offerings, then maybe there will be a terminal that you can use it at. True, at this point that is purely speculation, but it is at least speculation based on something else that we've seen that we know to be true. Now, the fact that the first terminal that we saw, the one that required a Splicer Key, is located in the HyperX Strike, I would imagine it's probably similar to, say, Devil's Lair or some of the other strikes where there's obviously overlap between patrol. So while we found it during the strike, I would imagine you could probably also get to that area if you're not on a strike, because it's fair to say that if you open that door, it's obviously going to lead you to somewhere that's off the beaten track, not necessarily part of the golden path for the strike, and of course wouldn't necessarily therefore lead you to the boss. So it's probably more designed to be encountered in patrol. But either way, I think it's fair to say that there'll be something exciting through there. Maybe it's just a doorway that opens up so you can go and find some more of those hidden dormant Siva clusters, something else like that. Whatever it is, but generally speaking, if ever you find keys in Destiny, they're not for nothing. You know, we found keys on the Dreadnought, they opened chests, they opened doors, they led to other things, led to cool things. So it's fair to say this is definitely at least something you want to pay attention to and try and keep in the back of your mind. So for the time being, here's one to get you started. We know that this terminal is located somewhere in the realms of the HyperX Strike, and you can be sure that as soon as I get a key when the game comes out, I'm going to be going back here and finding out what is through that door. But for the time being, that is pretty much it. It was just a quick video. I want to speak about where you get Splicer Keys, which we believe right now to be from killing enemies in patrol, killing splicers, and of course what they're used for, which is of course at these terminals. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit that like button if you did. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have got your own ideas. And for the time being, thank you for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.